I think one of the most important things that you can actually have is perspective. Not saying that you need to always have a, oh, this is so easy mindset, or, oh, this is super hard, there's something wrong with it. But I think just kind of take a second to look where you are and not take it for granted, because kind of look at this view, okay? Right now, I am like on these stairs, and I could be like, oh my gosh, look at that tiny person over there. They're so small, they have to walk all that way. But that's not really, that's not really true, because if I were to go down there, it would be just a regular walk of maybe like, I don't know, 25 meters? I mean, like a length of the pool. And I feel like it's just as important, or if not, like it's very important, I think, to keep your perspective in mind, because I think we lose the plot. We lose the plot so often, and we get so entangled up in the tiny details. Like, oh my gosh, like my toast burnt, so the rest of my day's gonna be bad. Burnt toast theory. I don't know, but it is just to show that we have to remind ourselves to take a step back and to look at the bigger picture sometimes and think, wow, this isn't that big of a deal that I thought it was, because life isn't that much of a big a deal at times that we make it. I'm so guilty of it. I'm so guilty of making the biggest deal out of the smallest things, but when you think about it, like, we're all just human. We're all just trying to live our life the way that we're trying our best to, and there's no right or wrong way to live life as long as you're not harming anybody. I mean, it's as simple as that, and we all have our own journeys, and we all have our own ways of learning, and sometimes we do have to get knocked down a few times to learn a lesson, and that's okay. Not everybody's gonna get the hint right away, and that's perfectly fine. There's no need to have life perfectly figured out, but rather just keep both the big picture and the tiny picture in mind. Because when we stray too far to the big picture, we're like, okay, this doesn't really matter. Like, we can get so big into this sense of like, oh, well, I'm just one day closer to death, like, just gonna end up dying, like, why would I try? Or to the flip side is, I have to have everything perfect, because then or else I'll fail. And I think there's definitely a happy medium between the both of them. Like, one of the PH, like, people in the panel today, they were talking about their failures. She was literally like, yeah, I feel like my PhD, it just taught me to fail quickly. It just taught me to take the failure, be a little sulky for a little bit, maybe a minute or two, and figure out the next step. That's honestly all how life is. That we can sulk in the moment a bit, but you gotta figure it out what's next, because you can't keep living in the past, and you can't live in the future, but can really only live in the present. is kind of how it is, and you have to remember to not get too caught up in the small details, because then you'll trip over the big things that you miss. Like, I'm so guilty of that. Like, sometimes I think about the small things, and then I'm like, oh shoot, the deadline was yesterday, or something like that. But we're all living for the first time. I think that's probably one of my biggest things that I'm taking away from this summer, is that all of us are living for the first time. No matter how old we are, how young we are, how experienced we are or aren't, like, we're just trying at the end of the day. Like, I never really understood, like, when older people were like, when their parents had like passed away, and they're like, I just want to be with my mom and dad right now, or something along those lines. And I'm like, but you're like 40 or 50. But it doesn't really matter how old you are. I feel like a kid at heart. Like, I think everybody's still a kid at heart, and we all have our own things that have come within our childhood, good and bad, and that nature of wanting to be cared for and nurtured by our parents or somebody that's older, or that paternal or maternal instinct from someone that's ingrained within us. And we're all just trying to figure it out with or without those people, and trying to make sense of our life as an adult or a child or anything and everything in between, because like I said, first time living, first time being 50, first time being 60, first time being 34, first time being 27. Like, we can always look back and think, wow, that would have been easier if I would have just done this, but that was years ago. And so hindsight's always 2020. Everybody says that, everybody knows that, but in the present it might be like 2180. I mean, yeah. Oh my gosh, did you guys know when people are like 2020 or like 2080, like what the 20 that they're referring to is like how many inches or feet away someone is in comparison to like what somebody could see like 80 feet away or 80 inches away or whatever, whatever. But I was like, whoa. So, fun fact. I think it's a fun fact, but yeah. That is your food for thought for today.